Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Kayn game. Let's get this show on the road. Which one? If this picture doesn't make it obvious, yes, I become Rost for this one. So, the very beginning of the game is basically what you kind of want to do as Kayn most of the time. Just kind of farm all day. So, if people were still using the whole triad of junglers, he'd basically be a farmer. I went in the last video talking about how his ganking is actually really bad. It's like his approach is what makes a big difference. So if somebody's out of place, you can usually sneak in there and, you know, get something to happen. But usually, yeah, his fighting is early on is really poor. Again, if I were to give base Kayn a rating as a jungler, it would be really, really low. Aside from, you know, farming. Hell, he takes a crap load of damage early on too. So his sustain isn't all that great either. It's when he evolves that makes a big difference, right? And I've already talked about, you know, both evolutions, what I think about both of them. And I know they did buff Shadow Kayn some while ago, but it still doesn't really change anything. Shadow Kayn is like, if you get super fed, or if you know you get just a mild advantage early on, you could go on a massive murder spree. It's kind of better if they're like have a lot of squishies, but even then, Rost is probably still better than Shadow Kayn at doing that. Yeah. So let me put it into perspective, because a lot of people have asked why I don't play Kayn even when he's available. It's not that he's not fun to play. He's actually pretty cool to play, and Shadow Kayn is a lot of fun to play, honestly. It's just that his whole thing is really frustrating to sort of deal with. See, if you do well as Kayn early on in the game, yeah, you're probably just gonna win. If you don't do well, you just kind of have to wait around until Rost kind of saves your ass. Rost, like I've mentioned before, is so insanely powerful as a jungler, as a champion altogether. It does this weird thing that if you weren't doing good early on, Rost, just becoming Rost can help you sort of reset the game. Base Rost, like if you had no items, is really good. If you're low on items, Rost is still pretty good. If you're really itemized, Rost is really insane. So yeah, the Shadow Kayn is kind of like the opposite. If you're not doing well and you decide to become Shadow Kayn, you just kind of screwed yourself over. So I would strongly recommend never going really Shadow Kayn. Though some people have argued, Stonewall, but what if you need an assassin? Why don't you just go Shadow Kayn? You know, even in those situations, you'd probably just want to go, you know, Rost anyways. And if you needed a jungle assassin, just, you know, pick the best jungle assassin in the game, Kha'Zix. You know, or yeah, he's still even just basically one of the best assassins, period. But yeah, early on you can see in this game is just kind of farming, going around, getting some, you know, cheap kills every now and then. Like me, all I'm really focusing on is farming, and thankfully I was able to participate in some kills that got me Rost. And now that I'm Rost, well, yeah, the amount of crap I can do, or the amount of damage I can do, or I'll just basically say this, the amount of bullshit deaths I can escape from because of the weird lifesteal and life gain that he has is pretty nifty, or at least a little abusive. My composition also is really bad, I'm sure you noticed. You know, having a Mordekaiser bottom lane against this kind of composition that's going to sort of keep us at bay is going to be really difficult to ever approach on without, you know, any real initiation. Yeah, our comp is pretty trash. Nonetheless, though, again, I'm keeping up as much farm as possible. I'm trying to... the only times I'm really fighting is if someone's out of position or I'm just kind of sniping something. Again, once I build something like Black Cleaver, you know, if I wanted to, whatever that Drakmor thingy, you know, Duskblade, yeah, I think it's what it's called. I never really build it, so... then Yomu's Ghostblade, you just kind of start destroying people. Anyways, if you guys want to prepare for one of the worst team fights you've ever seen in your life, here we go. So, the enemy team is sort of sandwiched in between all of us, but everyone chooses an entirely different target, and people are unsure whether they want to run away or fight, so we're just kind of scattering. The Jace gets a kill on the Soraka because everyone just sort of abandoned her. And because of that, we're sort of able to re-engage. I would have almost died there if it wasn't for my ultimate and the Blitzcrank sort of saving me, and as Fiora kind of prevented her death with that W, though she eventually dies to the Ignite. 2 kills out of that entire thing, and they were only brought up because, you know, people got super reckless and dumb, and they abandoned their teammates. That was a really bad team fight. We're lucky. Both teams are lucky it wasn't way worse than what it just kind of ended up being. But hey, this is Flex Q. Anything goes, right? Anyways, yeah. Again, I don't play Kayn all that much because Kayn isn't that fun, and kind of always having to kind of force yourself to be Rost is a little bit boring. and you're just kind of farming all day, all damn day. It's just like, again, it's not really all that fun. I like going around, you know, messing with people and killing them, and his Kayn form is just so limited. When you become Rost, you get to do a lot of dumb shit, and that's when it becomes really fun. Now, of course, though, I would preferably have gone Shadow Assassin, just because I like doing the whole blinky W and getting all that cool range, and honestly, he looks pretty cool as a Shadow King. Right now, like, again, you just kind of do a crap ton of damage just as Rost, and you survive a lot more than you have to, though I did that right there. Again, if I were to want to piss off a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure some people will be comment here, I think Kayn is probably a really big mistake, just kind of as a champion. Because yes, he works out, but he's sort of like that whole, you win, if you become Rost at a proper enough time, you start, you know, becoming really dangerous. If you don't, you have a chance to sort of reset it and become really good. If it's the Shadow Assassin, Shadow Kayn is never really all that useful unless the enemy team is really built poorly, or you're just really hyper-fed, you just kind of snipe anybody. But in the end, you just kind of should have Polygon Kha'Zix or something. And yeah, it's just that whole weird space in between where you're just kind of base Kayn and you're like super weak. I'm like, I kind of don't like that, you know, you gotta sort of, it sort of gets rewarded. You sort of get rewarded for dominating, and the reward is ridiculously massive. But if you don't, if you get super fed or something, you can still get like this award that, or this transformation that makes up for you never having, you know, done well, right? Or let me put it in this perspective: if I didn't get Rost, or if my team was getting punished early and getting destroyed, we should, you know, kind of lose, right? Most junglers wouldn't be able to save your ass from something like that. Hell, those that could possibly do that will only be the ones who manage to somehow stall forever and, you know, win. Rost, the transformation from Kayn to Rost gives, I feel, gives this ridiculous power spike. Like, it's just incredibly immense. His Q, his W, and I think it's because of his passive, makes him really stupid. Like, he becomes this tank killer, and he becomes this really annoying dude to have to deal with if people ignore him. So, that's kind of what I mean. It's just kind of a really annoying change from, yeah, of course, even if you're behind, Rost isn't going to totally save you if you're not doing well. But in solo queue, and like in flex queue and that kind of stuff, the disorganization just allows somebody like Rost to just kind of get crazy, right? I've had situations where I get, you know, I fight like 4 people as Rost, and I run around completely healing myself, avoiding them and whatnot, and they just can't kill me. I'm not really killing any of them, but they can't kill me. And then I snipe somebody and manage to, you know, sort of scamper off. But during that entire time, my teammates were able to sort of enclose on them and kill them. By the way, I gotta point out this really funny thing. Here, I'm trying to... The Nivea, I think she sort of forgot I had this ability, but I'm just constantly split pushing, farming up as much as possible, getting super dangerous. She hurts me for quite a bit. But then look, the Krugs are gonna spawn. I'm gonna use the spike to heal myself, and then I guess she wants to make sure to steal the Krugs or something, so she puts herself in between this wall, and she forgets I can completely travel through it, and I'm able just to sort of, you know, slowly slice her to pieces and destroy her. Bad. I am so far ahead against the enemy team and jungler just because I've just been farming and split pushing all day. And I guess that's one of the other things about Kayn, and honestly one of the things that sometimes you sort of need as a player, the whole Zen farming thing. Though, to be fair, this is what's completely stupid of me. I'm like, I thought I got too cocky and thought, oh, I can totally take out this Fiora. You know, she is the Grand Duelist for, you know, for whatever reason. And then my team decides to sort of get really gung-ho on this, even though they're super low health, and, you know, they go for the inhibitor, even though they probably should have just backed off at this point. So slowly but surely, they all get taken out. You know, they engage too much without any ultimates, mana, or health, or intelligence, so they all sort of, you know, die. And then I go back for, you know, round 2 against the Fiora, who after this gets really angry in our chat. Thankfully for me, she doesn't really have any mana, and it's kind of the only reason I picked a fight with her, because I knew she, you know, in the long term she wouldn't be able to fight me. She ends up being able to get her ultimate off on me, so I end up going, you know, into the shadow. Well, I go into the shadow, go inside her, and then come out as soon as that healing thing comes out, and finish her off. Hooray for me! And she was raging in all chat with that. But yeah, I mean, King games. Again, the only real reason I don't play him that much is because, well, the boringness can sometimes come into like a character that just kind of does the same thing every game. And 2, his videos aren't particularly that amazing to watch. Because again, he's very formulaic. Farm all day, become Rost, and then to sort of sneak kills, just, you know, brutalize somebody or melt the front line. It's kind of like all there is. By the way, the Fiora was super pissed. She was trying to kill me because, you know, that embarrassing kill down bottom lane. She chases after me too much, but I'm just trying to lure to my RA teammate, who as soon as gets here, we just kind of destroy her. Soraka almost saved her enough to get a cheap kill on me, but hooray. Yeah, my team here in this case has one of those situations where we are so weak as a team, it's better for us to sort of split up and just, you know, try to sneak some kills off on our own or split push all day. The problem is that they have a Nivea who's just kind of, you know, it's just got to sandbag any tower we try to take. And the Soraka, who's going to make any actual chances we have of getting any kills, nigh impossible. Because, you know, fuck Soraka. So yeah, essentially whenever there's even a skirmish between like 3 versus 3, we're gonna lose. Our best bet, like I said, is to split push and wait for an opening, catching someone off guard, someone who likes to duel people, hopefully, you know, who is probably really angry in all chat at this point, and maybe split pushing at, you know, random locations. But when are we gonna find someone like that in this game, right? Anyways, yeah, farm-wise 216, hooray for me. Building Shroud of Darkness, I think that's what it's called, just to hopefully not get killed by Anivia. But anyways, as Lookmate would have it, we do have someone who's split pushing as a duelist by herself because she's super angry in all chat. We catch her, easily destroy her, and because of that, we're able to push top lane. It doesn't have a tower. So now we're able to sort of creep in there. It's going to be a 4v5. The enemy team doesn't really know what to do. They need to sort of control me, but they're sort of kind of ignoring me. They're going for, you know, over the Blitzcrank and Jason and everybody else. So I'm just waiting for my opportunity to shine, and they get themselves in a really bit of a bad situation because we're able to sort of avoid Misfortune's barrage, get to her, and then just quickly destroy her. And then, you know, the rest of them are just going to sort of fall apart because they need that sustained damage from Misfortune. She was probably their most deadliest player in this game. So yeah, they slowly all get destroyed, and with that, it's pretty much GG. Again, my team count was absolutely terrible. We probably should have lost that, but again, they allowed us to do the only thing we're good at and just individually kill them. So hooray for us. I get killed by towers now. And yeah, yes, we win. We get the tower, get the Nexus. Hooray! Maybe I'll play Kayn again, but not really. I'm not really enjoying them now that much. We'll see what happens. Yay. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, make a comment below in the comment section and also give the video a like. That helps the channel a lot more than you think.